And she said that they say that she's toxic. I said, because you are. She said, they said that I'm angry. I said, you are. They about to run her up out of her good job because she's toxic. They said that I'm yelling at them and I'm not. Oh, yes, you are. And I don't want to fight people to like get them to look in the mirror at what they're not willing to admit to when you got high blood pressure and you just keep talking about this job. I don't want to hear it. You're going to die. Sisters are dropping dead like dominoes in jobs, complaining about what other people should be doing. So the two or more people that need to touch and agree on this earth are the you that God created and the you that life made you. Ooh. You're trying to get your spirit to agree that you can't make more money. You're trying to get your spirit to agree that you just gonna suffer and you're gonna die like that. Your spirit is not trying to have it. Where would the world be right now if every wounded person heeded the call of their suffering soul that is calling them back home to heal? Oh! Calling them from spending useless time on social media, longing to connect with others when who they really want to connect with is themselves. One person connected with themselves is greater in power, peace, and prosperity than 20 million followers on Instagram. Welcome everyone to Money Loves Happy People. I'm your host, Christy Rutherford, and today we're going to be talking about how to stop suffering. How do you stop suffering? How to stop suffering, I think, is searched 1.2 billion times a month on Google. But I also looked up how to prevent burnout, and that was over, a couple million. So are you burning out or are you suffering? So I would love it if y'all would go ahead and subscribe to this podcast, and we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Like, subscribe, do whatever you need to. So here's the thing. I got 3 things I want to unpack for y'all today. 1, you have to admit that you're in trouble. 2, know that there is a way out. And 3, answer the call to be greater. So let's admit that you got something going on. Are y'all willing to admit that y'all got some stuff going on? I mean, I just jumped right into it. Let's just jump right into it, y'all. Are you willing to admit that you're suffering? And, I talk about it sometimes. And my boy actually sent me a inbox message on LinkedIn a week or so ago. I haven't responded. Sorry, man. But he was like apologizing because I ended up like buying him some shot glasses. And he's like, Christy, I couldn't help you while you were suffering. But I was suffering too. And so I remember now that, I'm on the other side of where I was. And if you don't know, the quick 30-second version is I'm a winner. 1. 2, I burned out doing 150 miles an hour and ran into a brick wall 16 and a half years of my career. And I resigned with 3.5 years left to retire with a full pension. Started a business. And then I had catastrophic burnout and I could not coherently create a sentence for a year. I lost everything. I lost my mind first. Now I'm capable of making more money. I lost everything: my car, my trips, my bougie vitamins, my massages, my, going to Paris and partying in Vegas and all these other kind of things. And so I was bougie and broke. I was bougie and broken, and then I ended up broke, and then I recovered. And so a lot of times people don't know that part of my story. My speaking coaches are telling me to share it, but so I've learned a lot about how I created the scenarios that I was in. And now I'm here to share. Don't be like me, y'all. Like, I don't think that we all should have to do this. I did that 10 years ago. But this is what I know. He was like, Christy, you were suffering. And when I burned out and ended up in my brother's house, drinking liquor and eating cheese at snack mix for 3.5 years, it took me 4 years to recover mentally and 7 years to recover financially. My friends didn't know what I was going through. They didn't know that I was suffering before I burned out. And they didn't know that I burned out and it was in my brother's house with no money, because my boys are like, Christy, we would have sent you money. Well, I didn't need money, y'all. I had money. And I was still crazy and miserable and sick mentally and physically. And so a lot of them feel something, my real friends, they feel some type of way because they were like, you didn't let us support you when you burned out. But I was so embarrassed because I'm Christy Rutherford and I'm a champion that I did burn out, and I didn't want people to feel sorry for me because I didn't want to feel sorry for myself. And so when I look at women today, it's like I see so much suffering. I see so much suffering. And what's dangerous is, can y'all hear me on Instagram? What's dangerous is y'all are blaming other people. That's dangerous. You're suffering. Anger is suffering. Okay? Being angry is suffering. And y'all are justifying it. And you're anchored into it. And you're defending it. And you're dying. I almost died twice in a job. So I know what it looks like. And it's and y'all are looking for medical conditions to cling to explain why you're suffering, as opposed to understanding that your unwillingness to admit that you are the cause of your problems is why you're suffering. Your unwillingness to take action on what you've been complaining about for the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years it is the problem. And your procrastination and deciding to like wait for the right moment before you do something to change where you are right now, which is a problem. That's the problem. Y'all have to change. And so I was talking to a woman last week. I hope she's watching. And if she's not watching, I'm going to send it to her. And, oh, God. I mean, I do this all day, right? She started complaining about her job. And she said that they say that she's toxic. I said, because you are. She said, they said that I'm angry. I said, you are. They about to run her up out of her good job because she's toxic. She's like, well, I'm going to, you know, they said that I'm yelling at them and I'm not. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. She was like, she got mad, y'all. I was like, if you're talking to people, y'all know. I don't know why y'all keep acting like y'all are Houdini. And y'all ain't no magicians around here. I wasn't supposed to be yelling, but y'all know when I come is pretty much what's gonna happen. Like y'all walk around acting like y'all David Copperfield or somebody. Y'all ain't Houdini. You know when somebody talking to you, they can't stand you. Y'all know it. You know when you talking to somebody and they hate your guts. You know it. So why do you think you talking to people and they can't tell that you can't stand them? What is wrong with y'all? I mean, are you David Copperfield? No, you're not. I want to be clear. You're not a magician. What? If you're talking to people and you're yelling at them and calling them all kind of MFers in your head, they hear that. The mind is a sending and receiving set. They feel your rage. And you acting like you freaking Mary Poppins or somebody talking about, no, I'm not. Oh, go ahead and catch a case. You are toxic. So then I said, you have no right to be angry. Oh, she was mad. And I said, because you're dying. And then she started crying because she got high blood pressure. So, I mean, I'm like wrestling an alligator, y'all. I was like, I don't want to talk to you no more. 1, because I ain't come here for this. 2, you ain't paying me. 3, I'm here to be coached by somebody else on something else. I didn't come here to be beating you in the head. And I don't want to fight people to like get them to look in the mirror at what they're not willing to admit to when you got high blood pressure and you just keep talking about this job. I don't want to hear it. You're going to die. Sisters are dropping dead like dominoes in jobs. Complaining about what other people should be doing. I don't want to hear it. What are you doing? I don't want to hear women. What other people should be doing to create a psychologically safe workplace for you. What are you doing to create a psychologically safe place for yourself first? And then you go to your raggedy job, because a job is an MF and job. Who cares about your job? You're dying. Nobody. 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 So, number one point, like, and yeah, she wouldn't stop, right? I was just, next day, she's like, well, I just felt better, because I think I just need some people to talk to. I said, no, you need some people to complain with. That you didn't do nothing. What did you change? Now, I saw you complaining. I saw you. I ain't say nothing because you ain't my client. So you felt relief in finding commonality in your suffering. You felt relief, as Eckhart Tolle would talk about, with your pain body going to connect with other people in pain, and y'all sharing pain, y'all dragging each other down to hell. You ain't changed nothing. You still got high blood pressure. You still got to go to work on Monday and deal with your haters. You've changed nothing. I saw you complaining. What you changed though? I feel better. You feel better because you've just linked up with people in their pain, and y'all schmoozing with each other and having sleepovers, talking about your raggedy jobs. What did you change though? So if you're sick, like I was, if you're drinking liquor on occasion or every single day, like I was, if you need something external to yourself to self-medicate your soul to sleep because your physical body is in pain, why has that become an acceptable way to exist? Why have you found commonality and justify your misery in raggedy articles that are supporting the limited perspective that you have of yourself? How dare you wake up and not be grateful for life? You living in hell. God did not give you another day to be mediocre. God did not give you another day here to just exist and to complain. People are dying. Don't wait until you're about to die before you had the courage to live. Don't wait until you get a terminal diagnosis before you realize that you could have lived a better quality of life. Hey, Christy Rutherford here. If you want to learn how to get a 30% raise this year without getting another degree, go ahead and get my free case study and get this information. Use it. You can go to changenowwithchristy.com, changenowwithchristy.com. It's about 30 minutes. Use the insight, own your value, and get paid what you desire and deserve. Take care. See you soon. One of my colleagues' wives died. I loved her. And he put us on Facebook, was like, oh, after 3 months of fighting cervical cancer, she passed away. I was like, what? Boom, gone. Then I was talking to one of my business colleagues, and he told me that his wife found out she had cancer, and within 3 weeks, she died. And they were happily married, had the kids, had the house, the picket fence, the dog, and the this and the that. Got 3 weeks. I was like, my God. And I remember before I made the decision to leave my career, y'all, because I left with 3.5 years left to retire with full pension. I wasn't going to leave my money. They wasn't going to run me up out of my job. But I was dying, though, and I was crazy, and I was sick, and I hated my life, and I was miserable. And I'm holding on to like an electric fence, being electrocuted every day. Like I'm literally dying for a job. And I remember thinking, I saw a Hollywood guy he played on the Parkers. I can't think his name was the dark skinned guy. I can't remember his name at the time, but he ended up dying in a car accident. And it was a tragic car accident. And after he got ejected from his car, he had like 60 seconds to live. And I was thinking, in that moment, was he thinking about all the things that he should have, would have, could have did? And was he mourning the life that he didn't live, or was he going to celebrate the life that he did? and that for me was a turning point on, I resigned because even though I only had 3.5 years left to retire, what if something happened to me within a year? And I knew that my life could have been different. And so I want y'all to think about, if your time is coming, you got 60 seconds. Are you going to mourn the life that you didn't live? Or are you going to celebrate the one that you did? So I want to read something to y'all, because once I read this, it shifted my mindset of how I thought about suffering. Everybody's going through something, y'all. I think I'm kind of all over the place, y'all. Maybe in the edits, they're going to cut it up. But you can't change what you're unwilling to admit to. That's my point number one. Like, we're just not willing to admit that we're suffering. And so I read something. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. I got my Aruba $25 in here. That's my marker. Y'all pay attention. Y'all ready? Y'all got y'all coffee? Because we coaching them with coffee right here. I said, oh, James Allen brought the thunder. James Allen said, oh, All right. He talks about the virtues of suffering. He says, men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. It is pleasing to human vanity to believe that one suffers because of one's virtue, but it is not until a man has extirpated every sickly, bitter, and impure thought from his mind and washed every sinful stain from his soul can he be in a position to know and declare that his sufferings are a result of his good and not his bad qualities. And on the way to, yet long before he has reached that supreme perfection, he will have found working in his mind and life the great law, which is absolutely just and which cannot therefore give good for evil, evil for good. Here it is. Y'all ready? Possessed of such knowledge, he will then know, looking back upon all of his past ignorances and blindness, that his life is and always was justly ordered, and that all his past experiences, good and bad, were the equitable outworking of his evolving yet unevolved self. Last thing. He said, suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. The sole and supreme use of suffering is to purify, to burn out all that is useless and impure. Suffering ceases for him who is pure. As a Man Thinketh about James Allen. So when I go back to thinking about suffering in my job, y'all, and I started thinking about my boy sending me the note, I was like, no, I was suffering before I got to work. I was like, I'm the weird kid in my family. Like, I'm the weirdo in my family, and most of the people that I talk to are the weirdos in their family. Like, I came here as spirit to break generational patterns in my family forever. So I'm not really going to fit in. I never really fit in school. I suffered in school because I have this great vision. I am in harmony as a kid with the law of being of who I am. Queen, winner, rich. Now, the circumstances I was born into didn't necessarily reflect that. But that is the law of my being. That's who I'm going to be if I don't give up and quit and start blaming other people. And so if I am this, ray of light, this beacon of light in a small town in South Carolina, I'm going to be misunderstood. And I got in trouble all the time for talking in class. But it's like teachers don't understand that. And so my gift was being diminished. How many of y'all relate to that? Holler if you hear me. Say me. You don't really have anybody to support and nurture like the big light that is born into a family. And I'm not, knocking my family, but it's like, I was just different. I was well loved. Let's be clear. My mom worked, my dad worked. We had everything we needed. So Don't be thinking all Black people are born in poverty. Not true. No, we had money. But it's like, I didn't really fit in with a lot of people. And TDJ says all great leaders are misfits because you were never meant to fit in with the people that you were called to lead. I went to college. I didn't fit in. I'm suffering because I was light skinned and fine as I don't know what, fine as wine. Let's be clear. I had no idea. All this fineness walking around, I had no idea. The women didn't like me in college. I didn't understand why they didn't like me. So I was suffering then. Going to a job, I was just suffering because I was always out of alignment with my assignment. I was always out of alignment and having mental inharmony with who God has called me to be versus who the conditions that I was born into. And not understanding that at a certain point, y'all, that it's time for you to get into alignment with who you are, with your beingness, with who God called you to be, answering the call to be greater. Your misalignment is what's creating your suffering. Your soul is calling you home, not to glory in heaven, but glory on earth. The scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Create in me, Lord, a clean heart and renew a right spirit in me. God must have known he was going to get messed up. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. What thoughts do you have? What fear mongering are you feeding yourself? What are you thinking about yourself? What are you thinking about the way the world is going? What are you thinking about the way that your life is going? Because that's the way that it's going to go. What are you feeding your mindset? What are you listening to? Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. All of this mental disharmony that's going on, i.e., y'all talk about normalized mental health. Let's talk about normalized wholeness. I don't want to hear you talk about normalized mental health. A lot of y'all ain't crazy. You just ain't doing nothing. You're just allowing the media and social media and like the music to pile trash onto your brain and into your mindset, and you're doing nothing to clean it up. You're not even taking responsibility for it. So is your mental suffering and your mental inharmony created by conditions outside of who you are because you're not monitoring what you're allowing into your mind? Are you agreeing with the limited perspective that other people have of you? Are you complaining with other people who have limited perspectives of who they are, and then they're agreeing with the limited perspective that you have of yourself, and now y'all dragging each other down the hill, i.e. your raggedy friends? Have you agreed with the limited perspective that your teachers had of you? Have you agreed with the limited perspective that your family has of you? When are you going to break free and say, I am the one who came forth to create generational wealth and break generational patterns for my family and answer the call to be greater? And understand that's why you're different. That's why you're special. That's why you're here. Will you answer the call, or are you going to succumb to the raggediness and the darkness of the world? Everybody keep talking about how the world is going to darkness. I see it elevating into light. Everybody keep talking about how, we're going into a recession. Y'all, they've been going into the recession for 4 years. I still ain't seen it. So you're having this restricted mindset of how you see money. All the while, Forbes has reported that there's going to be a 40% increase in the number of millionaires worldwide by 2023. It's some money around here. In 2019, I think it was, I can't remember the numbers because I'm all up in it now, but the number of millionaires in the U.S. between 2019 and 2021 doubled. Somebody getting paid. You choose which one you're going to be on. How are you going to listen to all of these articles that talk about how women are going to lose? Oh, Black and brown people, y'all might as well give it up. How are they going to write articles in COVID saying that Black and brown people are going to lose the most? I said, that's a lie. I doubled my business in 2020. That's a lie. How you going to say I'm going to lose? I mean, who am I going to touch and agree with? Am I going to touch and agree with you who say I'm going to lose? Or am I going to touch and agree with me and God and my coaches that I pay to keep me on the winning side? Hey, Chris Rutherford here. I hope that you're enjoying the podcast so far. But what I know that you'll love even more is joining us in our private community. Join us in this private community, Money Loves Happy People, and get live and on-demand insights so you can use this information to live the life that you truly and deserve. Get a raise and a promotion, no problem. Step into your purpose, no problem. Get the relationship that you deserve, no problem. Look, it's never too late to live the life that you deserve. It's never too late to live a life of total fulfillment. You just need information and inspiration to get on the path to living your greater life. So go ahead again, click on the link on around this video, join us in our private community, and change your life for the best. Take care. See you soon. I'm already into number 3, y'all. I skipped over it. So, what were 3 points? Number 1, admit that you got some stuff going on. 2, take ownership of where you are right now. I want to read something else to y'all. Here we go. This is my book, Trauma Default, the greatest book of all time, written by any living or dead author. It's so good. Let's see. This is good. Y'all ready? Y'all got y'all coffee? All right. Do you believe that you're downtrodden and unforgiven? Have you adopted the belief of what someone else said about you and forgotten about what the Creator said about you? Made perfect in His image. Did you forget the big you that came into the physical form to solve a big problem, your spiritual self? You adopted the belief of someone with a limited vision of themselves. Therefore, they transferred their limited belief onto you, and you believe them because you forgot yourself. No one outside of you can tell you who you are. You need to remember who you are and why you're here, and not believe the small words of an unhealed and unawakened being. Someone who is awakened to their greatness knows that we all are meant to be great and will not speak ill will of you or others because we know the truth. We know that we're not in competition with anyone, and we are all uniquely created to solve a problem. Together we can get it done faster. So collaboration is imperative for us to fulfill our mission. An awakened being speaking death to your dreams knows that we are speaking death to our dreams and we will not do it because we understand that karma is real. We will not criticize, ostracize, minimize, or allow you to live smaller than who you're fully capable of being. It's not in the nature of the healed and awakened to speak ill of you because we know that it will come back to us. Be aware of the people who pretend to be healed and awakened. They will show you who they are with their actions and their words. So here's the thing. I was thinking earlier this morning that, I get a lot of nasty comments on Instagram. They just be nasty. I'll just be like, what are these people? I have some good stuff too. I love y'all. But I just be like, I won't, like, only hurting people use their words to hurt others. Only a broken person will use their words and their influence to try to break others. You cannot try to harm me without being harmed in return, because karma is a mother. It is a mother. So what I will not do is enter your toxic cycle. That's your toxic karmic cycle. You're the one that's caught up. Wayne Dyer said how people treat you is their karma. How you respond is yours. I won't get intertangled and intertwined in the toxicity of people who are miserable and who just want to be miserable. So while y'all are arguing with people on Instagram and social media about, or that's with them, the comments, but then you're also arguing about what other people should be doing, what you doing. Because either I'm arguing with you about what you should be doing for me, or I'm doing it for myself. I'm either arguing about what my boss should be doing for me, or I'm out there learning how to do it for myself. I'm out there learning what my industry should be doing for me to provide me with mental security and psychological safety at work. Or I can go learn how to have psychological safety for myself first, and then go who's going to pay me and is going to honor that. So A lot of times people ask me, how did I get these women $14 million in salary raises? I just show women who they are. I just teach women to look in the mirror and own who they are. Not the imposter y'all talking about. This whole imposter syndrome thing is insane, right? It's not real. Like people, they write whole books on the imposter syndrome and how to be a better imposter. What is going on? You're out of alignment and you're out of harmony with yourself, with the person that God called you to be. How you going to claim to be an imposter and then want God to bless you? That ain't who he created. Lord, bless me. God is like, take that mask off first that you claiming to have. Houdini. And I think about it. All right. Y'all have any questions? Third point. So number 1, admit you got some stuff going on. 2, take ownership. Number 3, answer the call to be greater. Answer the call. What y'all waiting for? Your all the multitude of challenges that people are having in the world right now, and the sickness and the disease and like all the mental inharmony. It's just you trying to connect with you. The 2 or more people on this earth that need to touch and agree are you and you. You trying to agree with you, but the problem is you trying to get your spirit to agree with the raggedy physical part of who you are. You're trying to get your spirit to agree that you can't make more money. You're trying to get your spirit to agree that you just gonna suffer and you're gonna die like that. Your spirit is not trying to have it. So the 2 or more people that need to agree, touch and agree on this earth are the you that God created and the you that life made you. Ooh. That was good. The 2 or more people that need to touch and agree are you, your raggedy self, that God done chewed up, punched in the stomach, messed your hair up, wrestled you down to the ground, been there. And the person who came here to be great, knowing who they were, but just got wrestled down by life. So, one more chapter. Trauma Default, greatest book of all time, written by me. Where would the world be right now if every wounded person heeded the call of their suffering soul that is calling them back home to heal? Oh, wait. Calling them from spending useless time on social media, longing to connect with others when who they really want to connect with is themselves. One person connected with themselves is greater in power, peace, and prosperity than 20 million followers on Instagram. Bet all your chips on that. When you get reacquainted with who you are meant to be and who you truly are, anxiety, anguish, and depression will be annihilated. Disease cannot exist in the body of a truly enlightened being. Can your children, spouse, or partner fully connect with you when you're not connected with yourself? Choose to seek peace from within to create harmony in your home. A lot of y'all trying to change y'all spouse to see if y'all gonna have peace. No, you hell in the house too. Get off that. How can you be connected to other people if you aren't connected to yourself? Choose to do this work for yourself so you can be better for others. When you become a better person, you will be a greater mom, dad, daughter, son, brother, sister, cousin, leader, etc. Everything starts with you. Cleanse yourself from the inside, not with a detox. Change yourself from the inside. Change your circumstances from the inside. Seek inner peace, inner health, inner healing, and all of your outside circumstances will change. Most people try to change by buying bigger houses. They think that buying a new car will make them feel happier or getting married will make them happier. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things shall be added unto you. Since childhood, you have been sold a lie that if you are married and lived in a big house with a picket fence and a nice car, that you will be happy. Now here you are with this big job that's stressing you out, working too much to spend time with your family so you can afford the big house and the fancy car, and you're miserable and unhappy. If you're miserable, broken, single, you're going to be miserable, rich, and married. Money only magnifies who you are. So a lot of times, y'all, people, you keep thinking that if I just had more money, I'd be happier. No, y'all have seen rich people commit suicide. Right? Like, if I just had the car, I'd be happier. I talked to a young lady a couple weeks ago. If I can finally work myself, she's 28. If I've convinced myself that I won't be happy until I work myself out of this job. I said, man, you learned this at 28. That's a lie. You won't be crazy at 45. Like, we're always waiting for something external to ourselves to be happy, as opposed to just being happy. I had to lose everything before I learned that happiness was free. I had to lose my mind first because I was unwilling to stop long enough to meditate for 5 minutes 3 times a week. I lost my mind because I was unwilling to work out 3 times a week for 30 minutes because I didn't have time because I had to work. I had to lose my mind before I realized that I didn't have to engage petty people at work. And I know they started it, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I was not a victim when I be telling y'all I was harassed at work. My nickname was Lights Out. Baby, my name was Christy Lights Out Rutherford. Do you hear me? I would black out on you. I was a furniture mover. Christy Rutherford ain't no punk, okay? I went to South Carolina State. I don't play that. All right? There were memos on my crazy. And I was sick. And I was dying. And I was digging my early grave. I was digging my grave to my demise because I was willing to jump into a battle with a petty person who started it, and I always finished it. Because I knew they started it, so of course I got to finish it because ain't no way I'm gonna walk around and be no punk. But I'm dying. I had anxiety, back pain, headaches. My eye was twitching. I had arthritis, right? Like all kind of things are going wrong. Having panic attacks at my desk, sliding under my desk, blacking out in meetings. But I won the battle. But did I really? And really what it was, y'all, as I talk about answering the call to be greater, I wanted a different life, but I wanted my check. I wanted a completely different life, but the government owed me my pension. I wanted to be free so I could spread my wings and be the woman that God called me to be. But I was settling to go stuff myself in a box of expectations and conformity in an organization that owed me my money. I was getting paid $125,000 a year. I wanted all of it. And I was putting my dreams on the line and on hold and suffering greatly for security. And if I came here to break generational patterns for my family and to create generational wealth for my family, had I got that money, I would have been secure. My family would have been secure. I would have been out of harmony and out of alignment with who I came to be as spirit. So God snatched me out of my job. I was clawing on and holding on for dear life, almost died on my way out. Hey, Christy Rutherford here. I hope that you are enjoying this podcast as much as we loved putting it together for you to share insight to make your life better. Now, did you get your copy of my resume course, How to Use the Superpower Method to Write an Irresistible Resume to Land You a High-Paying Job? Look, even if you have somebody write your resume for you, how do you know whether or not it sucks? And did you give them the information to be able to write a great resume, or did you hope that they were going to spend gold out of something that you gave them that wasn't that good? So get this course, not just to write your own resume, but to be able to provide resume writers with what they need to adequately tell your story so you can get paid the money that you desire and deserve. So go ahead and click on the link on around this video. Get this course, use it, and get paid what you deserve. It's less than $50. I mean, come on, just get the course and use it. See you soon. So now to be in alignment and to be in harmony and to, to be who I am, I'm sharing, not because I wanted to, but because the Lord is making me. I'm a willing participant in this now. 5 years ago, I was unwilling. I was like, I ain't talking to these people. I ain't telling them nothing. Because I didn't want to talk about my suffering. I didn't want to talk about losing. I didn't want to talk about losing everything. I'm a winner. And I only wanted to just, portray this, I am a winner, but portray this winning image while suffering on the inside. I only wanted to talk about winning. I didn't want to talk about the suffering that accompanies winning. Right? I didn't want to talk about how to be a great leader. I didn't want to talk about the suffering and the enduring that it takes, the silent suffering that leaders have. I didn't want to talk about Superwoman had the cape wrapped around her neck and was being choked out while everybody applauded my success. I didn't want to tell that part of the story. God wrestled me down to the ground, and finally I decided to commit to this, to sharing this part of my journey. And the reason why I share it is because I want y'all to choose better. Is because y'all shouldn't be like me. You shouldn't have to lose everything. And I mean everything. I made more money when I was 14, y'all, than I did in 2014, 2015. I was incapable. I was psychologically unemployable. I could not get a job. I was too crazy. And what I could not allow was somebody to yell at me. It was going to be over. So I was incapacitated. It took me 4 years to recover mentally. Don't be like me. I had 25 medical conditions. Don't be like me. I lost everything. Don't be like me. I left my pension on the table and ran away like Tina Turner ran from Ike in that white suit. I could have finished the race had I had me to punch me in the stomach 10 years ago and told me I didn't have to work that hard. Don't be like me. Burnout cost my family some. I moved in with my brother. He got a grown woman living in his house for almost 4 years. That wasn't fair to him. We grown. How am I this posh 6-figure, boss at work, end up a whole hot mess? We grown. Y'all shouldn't be bougie and broke. That ain't fair. So if y'all don't have any questions, I'm gonna close out. I really just want y'all to choose better. Y'all deserve better. It's available for you. It's waiting for you. Stop reading articles to justify your misery. Stop getting around complacent, complaining people to complain about what y'all ain't gonna change. Either you complain or you change it. Jim Rohn says, spend 5 minutes complaining, you wasted 5. So my 3 points, I think I made 3 points today. Admit that you're suffering. Admit that if you can admit that you're angry, being angry is suffering, because really being angry is pain. It's just you're just in pain. And a lot of women get mad, Black women especially, when I talk about angry Black women. And I was an angry Black woman. Let's be clear. You'd have called me an angry Black woman when I was angry. I'd have socked you in the jaw. But the high cost of wearing that as a secret badge of honor, and my nickname was Lights Out Rutherford. Hello. I will black out on you, right? Like, so how can I be mad that people are calling me angry? I was angry. And what I wasn't willing to connect the dots on was my mental suffering, and physically I am falling apart and disintegrating because of my anger. So that wasn't serving me. It's a badge of honor, me laughing. That wasn't funny. I'm gonna read one more thing and I'm gonna get out of here. Because I read this book. Y'all gotta get this book. Get my book and get this book. It's so good. When I read this, I said, my God, this is what happened to me. So I started to look at, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I'm in my brother's house, drinking liquor and eating cheese and snack mix. I might well read some books and actually start to take the advice on the stuff that I've been reading. James Allen said, disease and health, like circumstances, are rooted in thought. Sickly thoughts will express themselves through a sickly body. Thoughts of fear have been known to kill a man as speedily as a bullet, and they are continuously killing thousands of people just as sure as less rapidly. The people who live in fear of a disease are the people who get it. Here it is. Anxiety quickly demoralizes the body and lays it open to disease and decay. Oh, wait. While impure thoughts, even if not physically indulged in, will soon shatter the nervous system. Let me read that again. Anxiety quickly demoralizes the whole body and lays it open to the entrance of disease. Are you shattering your nervous system because you got anxiety? You claim to have anxiety, but you ain't doing nothing. To live continually in thoughts of ill will, cynicism, suspicion, and envy is to be confined in a self-made prison hole. Oh, did y'all hear that? Because this book was written in 1899. They was going through some stuff too. Y'all ain't learning from what happened 120 years ago. I mean, shame on you. To live continuously in thoughts of ill will, cynicism, suspicion, and envy. This is long before social media was created. Is to be confined in a self-made prison hole. But to think well of all, to be cheerful with all, to patiently learn to find the good in all. Such unselfish thoughts are the very portals of heaven. And to dwell day by day in thoughts of peace toward every creature will bring abounding peace to their possessor. I just dropped the microphone right there, right on the ground. So if y'all are watching TV with all of these bipolar and anxiety and all these medication commercials that come on nonstop, I watch TV. I mean, my God. You know, I talk about it all the time, but I mean, it's all disease and insurance. Insurance for when the worst happens and disease. Aflac, disease. Car accident insurance, disease. Tree falling on your house, disease. Right. Somebody breaking into my car, disease. The Ring, app, just in case somebody break into my house, disease. That's it. It is no coincidence that the world is going crazy because all y'all watching and just being afraid of everything. Take control of your mind. Take control of your thoughts. Take control of your life. Period. And choose to live happy, harmonious, and be free and happy and harmonious. Be free, happy, healthy, harmonious for yourself first. And then create heavenly mansions around you. It ain't about the money if you're miserable. But when you become happy, money will flow to you easily, frequently, and abundantly. That's all I got. So, all right, y'all, I'm done. Subscribe to this podcast. We're going to load it in a couple of weeks, but subscribe to the podcast, click like, and you can follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, all the other kind of places that you can find me. But I really just want y'all to be happy. Y'all deserve that. I really want you to get your money too, because you need it to not just support a bougie lifestyle, which you deserve, but it's also to be that person that can create greater for the world and humanity. You can triple and double and, quadruple your salary so you can be greater for humanity. So you can support the causes that you care about. So you can support the hurricane victims and the tornado victims and, whatever disaster happens with the flooding and stuff like that. You don't have to keep complaining and waiting for rich people to see what they're going to do when stuff happens. What you going to do? Why don't you make yourself more available to be able to receive more money so you can support the causes that you care about and not complain about what they should be doing? You're the they that people are waiting for. You can do it. Just believe and ye shall have it. Holla, y'all.